gonna be a multi-boxing setup kind of guide. Um, when I first started multi-boxing, so with the new version of Wizard101 console coming out, I guess maybe the people with the PC community might feel left out. So this video is more for the PC community. Um, so multi-boxing, so the idea of multi-boxing is that essentially this is what you're seeing a version of that in the background where you're playing essentially multiple character, so you can play more than you can play 2, 3, or 4 character. But I stopped at a triple box. I started with 2, and then I added another one. So you can have different setups, but the setup that we're gonna go into detail today is the one in the background where you have balance, life, and X. So that's really the first team that I have, and that I'll go into more. So the actually the first how I first started them is that by actually started by pairing each other, schools that would synergize with each other. So I have various teams. So I had first started as dual box as when I was dual boxing. So that's just playing 2 characters. I have Life and Ice. Another team that I had was uh, Fire and Storm, and then my third team that I had was Fire and Myth, and then after that, then I added uh, the various. I added Life to all the other team, making it my super bug setup, where essentially Life is supporting the previous teams. So this setup kind of helped with also deciding what school to weave into, because it kind of these schools weave into each other. So Life weave into uh, balance, and then Storm weaves into death, and so forth and so on. So essentially these are synergized with each other, and then my Life is weaving into death. Uh, so that's the setup that I have so far. Alright, so now I'll just go over this setup that I have and how does it work. I think this is particularly important also because of this new update coming out. So they came out with they're about to come out with the Darkmoor update, and maybe more than ever, I think pip management, like who has shadow pips, who has pips, like who has enough pips. Pips management is going to be very important in the future game modes, and that's really only something that like well organized teams can actually do. It's very hard to pip manage with randoms. So yeah, so I'll go over pip management in a different video, but this video is just about looking at the first team and how it's set up. So ideally, how I went about setting up my multi-box setup. So ideally, that can be informative to other people that are maybe looking at trying to have a similar setup. All right. So I'll make other videos about the rest of the other teams, but for now we're just gonna focus on this one. All right. So usually with any setup, I mean any wizard team, you usually want to have a hitter, right? So usually that's Storm, but I have multiple teams, so I think my hitters are Storm, Fire, and Ice. And this setup, it's Ice. So actually, my Ice is a hitter in this team, which is I guess kind of cool. But I'll go over it in a bit more detail. So my build isn't the whole setup isn't finalized because I'm still in the works of farming and everything else, but this is just the basic setup. Alright, so we'll start with the balance gear and setup. Alright. So I think what I have is like all level 170 gears. I think some of these are, of course, like I think from packs. Instead of farming, I farmed some, like right here. But essentially, yeah, you're gonna need either max level 170. I mean, whatever you're going for, level 180 might be up, might be up, might be up by the time this video is out. So you need, yeah, max levels gears. Yeah, so you need to farm for that. So wherever that is. I even have the max level boots. So yeah, see, still need to farm some other stuff. But it doesn't really matter, right? Like because you're multi-boxing, you can easily uh, well, my network connection status is being iffy. Well, anyway, um, so yeah, my balance setup. So yeah, almost max level gear stuff. Ideally, once the new world comes out, I'm of course gonna have all the different pins for all the different damage pins. But for now, like this doesn't, like you can pretty much survive with this. You don't need perfect stats. All you really need is really uh, like spells that can synergize with whatever character you're buffing. So in this case, that's ice. And as you can see, like I have a lot of ice boosting spells. Like I can trap, blade, keeping my decks pretty light, like ice blades, balance blades. So essentially, yeah, my ice can essentially thrive pretty well in that settings. I'm also, like I said, I'm moving into death, into ice. So I have a lot of ice spells that hopefully I can try to synergize. I can figure out ways to synergize these with my ice spells as I move forward. But essentially, this is the first setup. Nothing too amazing. I guess this could be a way to like track how these different builds evolve over time. But yeah, nothing too amazing. Um, yeah, 157 balance damage. I could, of course, have more ice damage and so forth and so on. But this, yeah, this will come. So with your supporting characters, I guess you want to have a lot of like support support pets. You want to have a support pet and damage pet ideally, but the damage pet can be for when you have solo battles. But usually you want to rock your support pet. And for your support pet, probably you should try to have like as many make casts as possible, so that you do a lot less jobs. Um, yeah, those are just a lot less for you to do. The pets can do a lot more, like supporting, particularly the DJ shield that can be put on like everybody. So that's nice. Um, the deck, like a normal deck. There are now these double cure spins, which are cool, which you can craft. Um, so yeah, the basic setup. You don't really need like a perfect setup when you're multi-boxing, because you're getting support from other schools, so it's not that big of a deal. All right, so that's the balance setup. Once again, not a lot of ice damage yet. about 160 knowledge damage, which is enough. You don't need amazing damage. Like, I don't feel like I'm struggling. About 10,000 health. I could increase the stats, but like I said, this is just the beginning. I just finished actually leveling up all these wizards not too long ago. So I'm still in the process of building them up. Alright. So next we have our life setup. So this is also important how my setup is laid out. So this is how I go into battle. Usually you wanna have your hero go last, of course, so that you can buff him or her, so you can buff him. So that's important. Alright, so then my life goes first. So my life is actually on my brother's account, but essentially, yeah. So about damage with life. So I'm still going for damage. 146 health. So a bit. I guess if I want to compare, 120 death damage. So I have a bit more death damage here, a bit more dual schooling damage here. So once again, I'm whipping into death. So that's expected. 46. And I want to do a lot more outgoing healing. But yeah, I have a few outgoing healing that I need to do. 5, 43. Oh yeah. Interesting. I have 700, so I have a bit more critical chance here. Pierce, but still not a pierce, but still not outgoing healing. And I probably a big chance I could get that to 100. That's not a big deal. Right, 10. Not a big deal either. Alright. Yep. Ooh, I got 153 shadow rating. That's crazy. So yeah. I mean, that's why these guys get so much shadow rating. So yeah, that's what I have. And then here's the setup for my life. 170 gear. There's a back hat. There's also a back robe. I'll definitely open a few packs here. This I crafted, and then I think the 101 pack. Yep. And then some. I could change it with damage pin instead of pierce. And then, oh yeah. And then I try to have, maybe that's kind of what I'm missing. I try to have amulets like the school paper amulets. Like right here, I think I have it. That's the one for Darkmoor, so that I can use. If you can't really drill school, if you don't really have the school pips, it's gonna be pretty hard to drill school without being able to use the ice school pips, because that's what I say. Pip management is like so important. Like you need to be able to like use pips need to be able to count for different schools, so that you don't just run through them. And I think that's important for when you drill school. If you drill school, I think that's a must. You can't really drill school because it's gonna be too costly in terms of pip. Like yeah. So I guess that's something that I'm missing here. That I should get like a def that I can farm for. So yeah, and then the pet. My pet is like I said, new supporting. So these are support pets, not damage pets. You can see we're heavily focused on Legion Shield or Unicorn, and then Mechanist Pixie. That's a special drill. Alright. So once again, both supports are healing, shielding, transferring, pip transfer. I have this Dark Surge spell, so you can give you trade 1 shadow pip for 2 power pip, but there's also a give shadow pip. No? there was also a gift shadow pip spell. No, I can't leave it, dude. Alright, we're just gonna make this video like that. I guess my connection might be a bit laggy. Alright, so the third school is gonna be, this is how long this video has been, 20 minutes. Okay. So my third school, like I said, is the ice. So of course my ice is a hitter, so all my hitters have at least over 200 damage. So that's kind of really what I've been like grinding for, making sure everything is, every school has that, every hitting school has at least 200 damage. So my highest has 200 damage, and then I'll make sure as things go more to make sure I increase also my balance damage. But yeah, there's a balance, and life I never Weaver life ice that weaved into balance, and it was a pretty cool setup. 50 resist, 73 for storm, 20% accuracy, so you don't fizzle. Crit rating, block rating, pierce. Maybe I could increase my pierce a bit, but I mostly went for damage instead of pierce. And went for power pip, 2015 rating, so forth and so on. Okay, alright. So, yep, so kind of the same setup. Avatars here, or Eon gear. I think I like this Eon, crystalline Eon gear because of how much resist it gives. But of course there's other gear you can get. I don't know if you can have that here. Yep. So 116, just because of how much resist it gives. Wand, boomerang, that's the Reaver gear. The blade, a whole lot of damage. And then square, of course I could do that for more health. Once again, I've mentioned that using power pip. So these are things that I've farmed for. And then I guess I could make a video where to farm for this later on. But yeah, or the process of one about farming for them. Manifest ring. Would add a square jewel for more health. So yeah, I could easily have more health here. Alright, and then my pets. This is a pet that I've been working on. Power pip chance. That could definitely go away, but I think what's more important is just the cards that come with it that you can use, like the blades. And then my deck. Alright, so for my cards, of course, a single hit, AoE, basic, and then one extra card. And like I said, I have balanced cards, so this is a balanced school setup, so my setup is mostly balanced. Alright, so yeah, so that's the goal. So the goal is how I went about it. Ice, or the first school, balance usually is a good setup school, so blade, or buff the hitter, which is ice, which is perfect because I have so many blades, and then ice is like pretty weak, so it can heavily, that's what I say, it can heavily benefit off of what balance is doing. And then the third school is also just helping out, also healing, also pip control. So yeah, that's that for the first school. I'll make another video for the other team that I have, and as we move forward, we'll make more videos about how I go about how you use the setup to quest, to grind for gear, and so forth and so on. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.